Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. So Rishikesh is a place of jnana, proverbially the Himalayas. They say the bank of the Ganges is for jnanis, bank of Yamuna is for bhaktas, and jnana and bhakta, of course, karmis, I think it should be Belur Math. And yogis, it is Narmada. It's a proverbial thought. Since you also in this beautiful retreat center have been largely biased towards jnana through the retreats, let me begin with the jnana, dose of jnana. Because people may think it's too much of bhakti. You should remember these great incarnations of God have been described as Tattvamasyadi Lakshyam. But the Guru, Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam, very famous stotra on the Guru. And the Guru is considered one with Ishvara. Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Diptaya Dakshana Murtaye Namaha. Ishvara, Guru, Atma, all the three are identical. And Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says, grace, Kripa, is also another name for Atman. So we believe that the Guru gives us the instruction according to the scriptures. And when we say Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, or Guru Reva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, we do not mean that the Guru is Brahma, Guru is Vishnu. What we do mean is that the power of God, in the form of Vishnu, Maheshwara, Brahma, it flows through the Guru. I talked about it yesterday. Just like water flows through the pipes, to reach your own home, you have some pipelines. You open it in the kitchen, elsewhere, water flows. You don't have to reach out to water. Water reaches your home through these pipes. That is what the Guru does. The power of God coming from Satchidananda, that flows through the Guru, and in accordance as the Guru is a huge conduit or a pipe or a very small one, the flow of water varies. The avatars are huge conduits and massive pipes through which the power simply flows like torrents. And that is also stored in a particular place where the Avatara Leela is mainly concentrated, like Belur Math and Dakshineshwar. Sri Ramakrishna did not stay at Belur Math, many people wrongly think, but he stays at Belur Math, we believe, in the subtle bodies. Swami Vivekananda mentioned about this. And when he established the relics of Ramakrishna at Belur Math, he said, for ages to come, he will be staying here and blessing people. And this will be a place of great samanvaya, harmony of all thought, harmony of yogas, harmony of religions, harmony of all ideas, including sciences and arts, AI, and computer science, and so on. But artificial intelligence and absolute intelligence, both are AI. From AI flows the AI, and AI is a tool which the absolute intelligence uses. So these are not to be condemned or bypassed as some religious group would make us believe. Sri Ramakrishna, if you are alive at this time, will tell, Hridu, can you tell me the play of AI? He would have gone to see the electron microscope. He was curious about everything. Why? Because he used to see them as the vibhutis of God. This is a vision which all the followers of Ramakrishna like us should now inherit from him. Everything is a vibhuti of God, the Himalayas. Bhagavan says in the Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, Vibhuti Yoga Sthavaranam Himalaya. And the modern language which you normally use is a signature of God. God has signed the Himalayas, I am here, Krishna. You go to the ocean, I am here, Krishna. So, artificial intelligence, Krishna will say, this is my vibhuti, latest vibhuti. If you look upon these as vibhutis of God, you don't deny the world as Maya. And remember, Shankaracharya never had the idea of Maya as illusion. It was all grafted later on, post-Shankara, particularly when the onslaught of the Vishishtadvaitins and Dvaitins took place. In order to defend the Advaita system as a philosophical system, not as a way of life for Anubhuti. Swami Bhajanananda ji, a revered vice president, always makes a distinction between Advaita Anubhuti and Advaita Vada. Advaita Vada is a philosophical system, and Shankara was not interested in establishing a system of philosophy. He wanted people to awaken to their inward, luminous, Nitya Shuddha Mukta Swarupa Atman. His only purpose, like Sri Ramakrishna and other great incarnations, was to awaken men and women to their own real Swarupa. He says, please, there's a luminous self within you. Some of the bhashyas like Atmapriyananda says, Iti paramahete ishana vedena upadishtam no upikshitavyam. Veda has taught you this great teaching for your welfare. Please don't neglect this. Matrapitra sahasrebhya paramahete ishana vedena upadishtam. More than 1,000 mothers and fathers have so much of concern and so much of compassion. The Shruti, the Vedas are telling you, please don't neglect this teaching. It is Shrutir Anukampaya aha matravat, says, like a kind mother, repeatedly telling the child, oh child, follow this path, it's good for you. So the Vedas and the Upanishads, Shankara's main purpose was to interpret it in the modern times of his times, combating the Mimamsakas on the one hand, the Buddhists on the other hand. The entire India had become Avaidik because of Buddhistic teachings. So he had to restore the Vedic religion minus the Mimamsaka ritualism. He had an unenviable task, as Swami Tapasyanji used to put it. Shankara was the inheritor of two huge dilapidated castles. One is Buddhism, the other is Mimamsa. So he took resort to the Upanishads, just like Swami Vivekananda did. Vivekananda said, India should now be brought back from the Puranic India to the Upanishadic India. We have had enough of cock and bull stories. We have wept enough. Now we have the strength giving Upanishadic teachings. And he said, strength is what every page of the Upanishads teaches to me. What kind of strength? Swami Ranganathanji's famous words, 3 kinds of strength. Bahubala, the muscle strength, the power of position, the power of weaponry, power of weapons of mass destruction, power of money. That is one kind of wealth. And the world, among the world leaders who are the most powerful with this kind of wealth, they are dancing on the stage now, not for too long perhaps. The second is Buddhi Bala, the intellectual strength. India had plenty. Even now, India is conquering the world because of its buddhi, the intellect. Not the higher intelligence, even the buddhi. Such sharp intellects, devoted constantly to the cultivation of knowledge, cultivation of learning. And Buddhism largely inspired people towards intellectual growth. Nalanda, the famous university, Nagarjuna was perhaps the vice chancellor there. And one of our monks found out, in Nalanda University, any Buddhistic monk wearing the Girva robe will be directly appointed as a professor. No formalities, no process of recruitment. We are doing it at the Vivekananda University now. Any brahmachari, any sannyasi with a PhD, duly qualified, directly appoint him as an assistant professor. So far nobody has objected. They may later on. I say when the minority groups, Christians and Muslims can do it, why not we? We have been too mild for too long. Swami just said, I want Hinduism to be a little more aggressive. And he even used the word militant Hinduism. So that has taken up by several groups. Don't think Vivekananda's teachings are the monopoly of only Ramakrishna Mission. So many groups have taken up so many ideas of Vivekananda. The Gayatri Parivar, for example. Vivekananda wanted everybody should be given the Gayatri Mantra irrespective of caste, irrespective of their position, lineage. That's what the Gayatri Parivar. Thousands of people, anybody coming give the Gayatri Mantra. If you go there, in Rishikesh, you see huge homakundas, several. Anybody can walk in anytime and do Gayatri Homa. The entire philosophy is Gayatri Mantra, awakening of the Dhi. That's one way which Swamiji said, and they have picked it up. Several groups have picked up several of Swami Vivekananda's ideas, and Ramakrishna Mission, the monks and the devotees have their own tasks to do. That which the monks cannot do, because of the constraints of their monastic vows, we can't get into society seriously, go anywhere and everywhere and live there. That's what you people are supposed to do. All these retreats with Swami Shantatmananda is arranging with so much of effort. Remember, this will go your waste unless you pick up some ideas, live them in your individual lives, and propagate them in your families and in the society. Your personal life should be transformed, your family should be transformed, your children's lives should be transformed, society should be transformed. So this is the purpose which we are taking so much of trouble, because Vivekananda clearly said, Prachar Karja, Shankher Jivani Shakti, never desist from propagation of ideas. Prachar Karya means the idea should be propagated. Not that you people do not know, you people perhaps know much more than we do. But why is it that we are put in the pedestal of teachers? Because we wear this robe in the sacred name of Swami Vivekananda, Ramakrishna and Sharada Devi, given to us by the Sangha Guru, coming in that parampara. And we have been somewhat authorized to say whatever we say. Authority is required. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took to sannyas. You may know the life of Mahaprabhu. He was such a handsome young man, extremely learned, particularly in Nyaya and Vyakarana. He had a beautiful toll. Toll is now translated as traditional Oriental learning, TOL. And he was a successful professor, principal there. And he was teaching religion. People started saying in society, oh, he had a beautiful wife, so handsome. He is a professor and principal of a college. And now he dares to teach us religion. Who will listen to him? Mahaprabhu heard this and he was struck with wonder. Yes, in India, only Tyagis can teach even secular subjects. Swami Vivekananda said, in India, ancient India, education was in the hands of Tyagis. By Tyagis, it did not mean only sannyasins. People who have dedicated their lives. No encumbrance, no marriage, no undue attachment to anybody, except the devotion to a particular ideal. This is Swamiji's words. Such people, if they take to educating young people, that will have an impact. Constantly living in the close association with these Tyagis and Gurukulas, the students will imbibe the values in life. 12 years in a Gurukula, you don't need any certificates, you don't have examinations. At the end of the day, you go back to society. Vedamanochacharya antevasena manushasti, the famous convocation address in the Taittiriya Upanishad. The Acharya commands you now go and live life of a householder, or some people may get take to sannyas. Also, generally people who go into society gives them certain instructions. And when they come out, nobody asks them, can you show me photocopies all your educational certificates? Know what we ask? They ask which Gurukula you belong to, who was your Rishi teacher. We come from Yajnavalkya's Gurukula. Past. You can walk into anywhere. It's exactly what is happening now as far as research is concerned. When you do research, they will not ask you for the certificates. Who was your research guide? Suppose you say, I did my PhD in relativity theory. Who was your guide? Einstein. No questions asked. One line Einstein writes, he was my student, he knows everything about relativity, finished. That was ancient India. The teacher was everything. So, Tattvamasya Laksham, I was trying to explain that. And the Guru, Ishvara, is the goal of the Mahavakyas like Tattvamasi. I will very briefly illustrate this. Sri Krishna, who is our hero for this retreat, Arjuna crying there, all of us sitting at the feet of Sri Krishna and crying, despondent, feeling difficult to navigate through life. Sri Krishna is Tattvamasya Laksham. He is the goal of even Tattvamasi, which is the Mahavakya. We do not know who gave the name Mahavakya to these 4 sentences. In Shankara's Bhashyas, we never get no mention of Mahavakyas. Perhaps later on, when the 4 mathas were established by his disciples, in the Matamnaya, the rules of each mat was framed. Perhaps the disciples like Shureshwara and others, the Padmapada, they must have given these Mahavakyas perhaps. 4 Mahavakyas are recognized, as you know. From each of the Vedas, you have the famous Tattvamasi from Chandogya Upanishad, the Samaveda, and Aham Brahmasmi in the Yajurveda from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Tattvamasi is called Upadesha Vakya. The Guru instructs you, you are that. You foolishly and falsely thinking of the body-mind complex, I have a name, I have a body, I have a mind, I have an intellect, I have this degree. All this is called upadhi in Vedanta. These accretions, limiting adjuncts is the translation. They come to you and hide your real nature, one by one. And the most dangerous and the first upadhi is the I. This is called Adhyasa in Sanskrit. Shankara wrote his famous Adhyasa Bhashya, the Upodghata, introductory commentary on the Brahma Sutras. Adhyasa means that which is superimposed. And the moment you are born and you have the sense of I, that is the first Adhyasa, which is called Karana-Adhyasa. Karana-Adhyasa is the causal superimposition, which is the first one to be imposed on your Nitya Shuddha Atman, ever pure, ever free Atman. And thereon you think the I. And interestingly, pediatrics doctors will know the I doesn't grow in a child immediately as soon as he's born. I think it comes at the age of 4 or 5. Around that time, the child begins to say I. Swami Bhajananandji, once again, I refer to him repeatedly because he has been my mentor for nearly 60 years. I know him since my teenage. His blessings, even now, and his great grace and his teachings have enriched me, shaped my life. He used to say, he is written in the Prabuddha Bharata editorials also, suppose a child is named Ram. Everybody calls him Ram, 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 Ram. He will go and ask his mother, give one more for Ram. He will not say I. Because the sense of I grows after some years. The moment the I grows in a child, that is the Karana-Adhyasa over which is superimposed on the Atman. That is the first I. Then comes the Karya-Adhyasa. What is Karya-Adhyasa? All the other things are superimposed. The moment the I comes there, I am a body, I am a mind, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. These are all upadhis according to Vedanta. The Shishta-Advaita will say Anandamaya is not an upadhi, it is Brahman itself. The body is the first superimposition in the I. I am the body, this is my body, senses, and you gloat over your senses. I have beautiful eyes, my hairs are even now black in spite of my age. People are so proud of their senses, their eyes and their ears. I can keenly hear even now. Can't you hear? No, what is my age? Can you guess? You should reduce it reasonably so that he is happy. I think you are 55. I am 75. Well, you don't look it at all. Yeah, that's it. You can see it in the world, how the upadhis simply hijack you. This is called viveka. Viveka is don't be hijacked by the upadhis. People are very clever in this world. Even the most powerful world leader, I don't name him, every one of you knows him. The moment his ego is a little tickled, he can do anything for you. And people who are very clever, sycophants particularly, they know how to tickle the ego of the boss and get everything done. Sir, I have never seen such an administrator like you. You have completely transformed the whole company. Yeah. So the previous person completely destroyed. Yes, sir. He will say the same thing to the next man. Never believe sycophants. If somebody praises you, remember, he will do it to everybody, and behind your back, he will curse you. These are all only tricks. And the ego completely gets confused and caught in this sycophancy. Swami Bhajanananda has a beautiful book which we published recently, Ego Awakening to Self-Realization. Some of you are interested in psychological approach to religion, please do read this. From the ego awakening to self-realization, what is the path, what is the journey? He is a great psychologist also. So that is the next upadhi. The ego, first I, then I superimposed on the body. The body is the greatest danger with which the ego gets identified. The Atman indirectly through the ego gets identified. That's why Vedanta will always talk about Deha Atma Buddhi. You must have come across this word. In Deha you have Atma Buddhi. You know the Atman is not the same as the Deha, different from it. Deha Vilakshana. It's called Panchakosha Vilakshana. Avasthatraya Sakshi Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarupa Atman. This is the definition. But Deha is so deeply, intricately attached to the body, and through that the senses and so on. The body is affected immediately, you cry, you weep. There is a shloka in the Bhagavad Gita, Yasmin sthito na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. That you get established in the supreme state of consciousness, and even the greatest affliction doesn't make you miserable. There Shankara's Bhashya says, even if you are pierced with a very sharp weapon, you are calm. I was slightly unhappy with Shankara when I read this. Why such a gross example? It becomes something very subtle. Till I went through so many kinds of surgeries and the problems of the body, you do not know what the physical pain is like. Terrible to bear. You can bear even the mental pain, you can weep and manage. Physical pain is something just unbearable, because the Atman is so deeply attached to the body. Deha Atma Buddhi. Ramana Maharshi gives a beautiful insight. He says everything in the universe is Prakriti. Prakriti is nature. Your body, your mind, your senses, all the outward nature, everything is only Prakriti, and Prakriti is fully programmed. The modern language is programmed. Because Prakriti is Jada, just like a computer is programmed. Computer is a Jada Padartha, it's insentient, but it can be programmed so that it can act according to your wishes. It can dance to your wishes. So Prakriti, everything is programmed, including your own body. You have no choice, you have no free will. But the Supreme Being, whatever his name, call it Brahman, call it Atman, call him God, call him Ishvara, has given a small window of freedom to you. That window is not to identify with the body. The body is completely and totally programmed, and God has given you a small window. You may or may not identify with the body. A person who doesn't identify does not care about what the body does, what the mind does. So don't be overmuch obsessed with the bad thoughts, good thoughts, all kinds of flow of thoughts in your mind, that the senses are cheating you, senses are leading you to bad ways. Don't worry about them. Let them do what they like. They've been programmed. Upanishad, paranchi khani vidranat swayam bhu tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman kaschid dhira pratyagatmanamaikshat avritta chakshura mrtatvam. Rishis were very clever. They put all the blame on Swayambhu. Why are you so extrovert? What can I do? Swayambhu made me do this. The Supreme Being made all the senses outgoing. He created the senses, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, and then twisted them 180 degrees, go out. That's why it doesn't go inside and see the Pratyagatman, the inner Atman within. Some people, Kaschid Dhira. Dhira means the Viveki. Dhira is not boldness. Dhira, Dhi means Viveka. Dhi means Pragya. Dhi is the awakening of the higher wisdom, higher intelligence, Medha. Ra Pratya means Matu Pratyaya, a person who possesses. A person who is a Viveki, who has the sense of discernment between the real and the unreal, between the permanent and the impermanent. Such a person turns all the senses inward. Avritta Chakshu. Chakshu here means by Upalakshana, it means all the senses. Why? Amritatvam icchan. He is deeply desirous of immortality. So the first qualification, and the last perhaps, of sadhakas is mumukshutva. Desire to be free. Sri Ramakrishna called it vyakulata. Sincerity and vyakulata. Only two things he wants. Are you sincere? Are you deeply, desperately interested in getting out of this whole mess? Just like Yama told Nachiketa, Tadrangno bhuyan Nachiketa prashta, that more such disciples come to me like you. And he says, Vidya abhipsinam Nachiketa sammanye. O Nachiketa, I think of you as a person who is eager for spiritual knowledge. So all of you have come here taking so much pains. We, Shantatmananda including, consider all of you as mumukshus and sadhakas. Shantatmananda told me repeatedly, this center should be devoted to serious spiritual practice of sadhakas only. I don't want tourists. If you open up, so many tourists will come. Ah, wonderful, they click pictures and send by Facebook all the time. Even in Mayavati it's happening now. We are open to tourists. There should be at least one center in which serious sadhakas should come. Not that we will realize God after 4 days we will be going back as Jivan Muktas, but you will have some elevation of consciousness. You will have the right path, some idea, and then do manana, nididhyasana, come back again and get more and more enriched with serious sadhana. So this is meant for serious sadhakas, and Ramakrishna Mission and Ramakrishna Mutt has been created by Swami Vivekananda by the divine will of Sri Ramakrishna and Sarada Devi only for people to be liberated. How do I say that? The Aratrika song which Swami Vivekananda composed and made it mandatory and compulsory for all people, not only monks, householders, children, old, young, women, men. Everybody should sing this song at dusk during Vesper service. It begins with Khandana Bhavabandhana. I was very little surprised. Swami Vivekananda makes everybody a mumukshu. Nothing for you for the household. You may go through the household and all that, but ultimate aim is moksha. This is what India, Bharatvarsha represents. You may go through dharma, artha, kama. Ultimately, even a child will tell you our aim is only moksha. All the scriptures, apart from the spiritual scriptures, even Sanskrit Sahitya, literature, one great scholar told us, is a Sahitya person, very serious spiritual sadhaka, he said. He wrote a thesis, it was published as PhD thesis, Moksha Parayanatva of Sanskrit Sahitya. Talking from Kalidasa, Dandi, Magha, all the poets. Ultimately is Moksha Parayana, ultimately it leads you to moksha only. The path may be Abhyudaya, Dharmartha Kama, through that you go to moksha. It's called Pravritti Dharma, and you directly go to approach moksha from dharma to moksha, Nivritti Marga. Vivido hi Vedokto Lakshanaha, Pravritti Dharmaha, Nivritti Dharmascha. Shankara's very beginning of the Gita Bhashya. Both are equally valid, both are equally accepted. One is a longer path, but safer. Many people take to that. Unfortunately, in the Upanishads later on, Prayas and Shreyas, Nivritti Marga and Pravritti Marga has been decoupled. One leads you downwards, other leads you upwards. Like the Kathopanishad, they've been very harsh on Prayo Marga, Prayo Mudho, Yogakshemat Vrinite. People who are deluded, the Mudhas, they only choose the Prayo Marga. It's very harsh on the householders. But Shankara is very compassionate. Shankara did not emphasize only monasticism. Buddha did. Vivekananda says the mistake that Buddha did should not be repeated. Made everybody a household, everybody a monk. What happened was the best elements were taken away from society and society degenerated. Vivekananda's words. So our scriptures are extremely liberal. Whatever path you go doesn't matter, but ultimately moksha is your aim. That's your final objective. This is the moksha marga. So tattvamasyadi laksham, Ishvara and Guru are supposed to be tattvamasyadi laksham. Those who have interpreted the Gita, the Bhagavata and the Sri Krishna's teachings from the point of view of jnana, like Jnaneshwari for example, they always emphasize he is the ultimate goal of all the Mahavakyas. The Upadesha Vakya is Tattvamasi, thou art that. You are not this small little body-mind complex, you are that infinite self. For that the first thing is required is Shraddha. Shraddha avivesha, Kathopanishad, very second mantra. Nachiketa was endowed with Shraddha. Shraddha overpowered him, overwhelmed him. Then only the whole story begins. It's a misconception that jnana does not require any faith. Jnana requires more faith than even bhakti. Jnana requires you to have Shraddha in the Guru Vakya and in Shastra. Shastrasya Guru Vakyeshu Satyabuddhavadaranam. You feel them to be true, realize them to be true. You may not have realized it, but you feel it is true. Yesterday I told you the story of Joseph and MacLeod. Today I'll give you the meaning of Shraddha as taught by one of our illustrious acharyas, teachers in the training center, Swami Mukhyananda ji. He used to give tremendous insights. He said, you know what is Shraddha? I'll tell you a story. A person was given a task of delivering a very important envelope. You go to that street, the 4th street there, and there's a high-storied building, go to the 7th floor, and deliver it in the second house. And this fellow takes it. Suddenly, just like in hilly regions, complete fog, torrential rains, just he couldn't see anything. Total dark. He didn't know we were proceeding properly. am I going the right direction? Will I be able to deliver? Suddenly there's a lightning. You could clearly see the building, clearly see the street. Now tell me, what will be his mental state before the lightning and after the lightning? Before the lightning, he was completely confused. He didn't know what to do. The lightning struck. He had not reached that place. He had not delivered the envelope, but he clearly see what is the goal. Then he goes with tremendous courage and confidence. This is Shraddha. Vivekananda calls it pre-vision of truth. You have not had the vision of truth. It is just like the preview which your MS Word gives you. You want to take a printout? Preview. And it gives you, this is what the document would look like when you actually print it. You have not printed the document, but you know what the document would look like. So you have not seen the truth, but you have a glimpse of what the truth would be like. So this also, Shraddha is also a kind of realization, maybe an intellectual realization, something beyond this, beyond the intellect, subtle intellect called the Medha or Dhi, awakening of the Dhi, which the Gayatri Mantra talks about. So the Jnanis have interpreted Sri Krishna's Gita and the Bhagavatam through the idea of the Mahavakya Lakshya. Sri Krishna is the goal of the Mahavakyas. And the Bhagavatam is a scripture, as Ramakrishna said, it is fried in the ghee of knowledge, jnana, and soaked in the syrup of devotion and bhakti. It beautifully blends jnana and bhakti. Remember, jnana and bhakti are totally non-different. What is jnana and what is bhakti? If you are devoted absolutely, totally to the nirguna aspect of Brahman, you are called a jnani. If you are devoted to the same Brahman, the saguna aspect, you are called a bhakta. That's all. And saguna and nirguna being non-different, even according to Shankara, jnana and bhakti are identical, QED. You have proved the theorem. This is an insight which I got from late, most revered Swami Smarananandaji, who taught us the Gita for 16 years. So many insights he got. I will discuss it also when we go along the way. From the Gita itself, I can prove that jnana and bhakti are identical. We can go for this just now. So you come to the 14th chapter. In this short time available, I can give you some insights, but please go back and think about all this. Take the 14th chapter. Towards the very end of this chapter, 25th verse. Arjuna asks how to become Triguna-atita. A person who goes beyond the Prakriti, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, is a Triguna-atita, goes beyond them. Triguna-atitatva is equivalent to moksha, equivalent to Brahmajnana. So Arjuna asks, what is the way to be Triguna-atita? If you go to the text on jnana, they will simply give you such frightening solutions, you will run away from them. So here is a beautiful text called the Bhagavad Gita, which says it very easy. Worship me with one-pointed devotion, you become Triguna-atita. When I read this first, oh Sri Krishna, you have saved the world and me by this teaching. If you go to any jnana text, to become Triguna-atita, so many conditions are laid down and we just can't match them at all. Impossible in this life. Then he says, come to me. I have come down with the Avatirana Bhagavan to give you moksha. It is just here, take it. But you should be devoted to me, you have faith in me, and completely and totally you should give yourself up to me. Verse number 26. Who becomes Triguna-atita? Mam chayo avvibhicharena bhakti yogena sevate Sagunan Samatitaitan Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. You become Brahma Bhuya, you become one with the Brahman. How? Here, Aham, Mam, always means not Sri Krishna, but Avatirana Bhagavan, who is identical with Ishvara. The Gita teaching, Bhagavan is talking from the level of Ishvara, which is called the Bhava Mukha. If you have time, we'll explain that also. All the avatars remain at the level of Bhava Mukha. As Swami Mukhyananda taught us, they are always in the Anandamaya. Just like we are in the lower chakras, as Ramakrishna said, Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, and Manipura, most of us are enjoying life. And the avatara is always in the Anandamaya. That's called Bhava Mukha. That's also called a state of Vijnana. It's a philosophical doctrine. We'll come to that later if time permits. Anybody who worships me, Bhakti Yogena Sevate, how avyabhicharena. Vyabhichari bhakti means swerving. Now you are here, next time you are there. Sri Ramakrishna gives the example of a fly, house fly. This moment it sits on a flower and sips madhu, honey. Next moment sits on a very dirty piece of feces. So it flits back and forth. This moment he is devoted to God, next moment he degrades himself enjoying all the pleasures of senses. Avyabhicharina bhakti means he has no other business except God. He may be moving away sometimes, but he prays to God, bring me back. Ramakrishna gives a beautiful example. The compass needle. Compass needle, if you disturb it a little, it goes this way. Again, it pulled back. It has to point to the north. So you may oscillate, but you are always a tendency to point towards God. And avyabhicharini bhakti means unswerving, total devotion to God. This is not very difficult if you practice it a little. Even in the path of jnana, in the path of intellectualism, say, what else will you gain from this world, you tell me? Sri Ramakrishna taught this kind of discrimination, viveka. What is there in the world? What is there to enjoy? How long can you enjoy? From your teenage up to, let's say, 40, 45 is your age of enjoyment. Afterwards, so many kinds of illnesses come to you. You cannot any longer enjoy. Even if you want to enjoy your senses, your body will not permit you. That's why old people proverbially are said to be seeing all kinds of pictures and all that because they can't enjoy physically anymore. How long can you enjoy? How much can you enjoy? Suppose you want to eat. How much can you eat? You want to enjoy the senses. How much can you do it? There is a huge limitation on that because the whole thing is limited by time, space, and causation. So what does the world give you? Swami Brahmanandaji beautifully said, if you give your body and mind to the world, it will destroy them both. If you give it to God, and you will become liberated and enjoy infinite bliss. These are not mere words. Even assuming that you are drawn to the world, you don't believe in religion and spirituality and spiritual practices and so on, just ask yourself, how much can you and how long can you? The most powerful person in the world, among the world leaders, they say, how long can he be ruling? Age, kalo, jagad bhakshakaha. Time is a great devourer, great swallower of everything in the world. A time comes you can't walk, you can't eat. Angam galitam palitam mundam dashana vihinam jatam tundam vruddho yadi grihitva dandam tadapina munchat yasha pindam bhaja govindam govindam bhaja mudhamate. Shankara says, Swami Tapasyananda towards the end, all his teeth fell down. He was past 80 and he was losing balance, so he had a big stick. Somebody asks him, Maharaj, how is your health? I can only describe my health in the words of the great Bhashyakara, Angam Galitam Palitam Mundam. And he said, great Jnani like Shankara, great Advaitin, great Bhashyakara. What a graphic description of old age. So how long? And like Yayati, you want again a fresh body, again enjoy? How long? How much? So you think about this. Discernment. Find out what is Nitya and what is Nitya. So what I always tell my students, I understand you don't want all this, you don't want spirituality, but are you happy in the world, enjoying? No, I'm getting all kinds of problems. The person whom you love so much, he or she ditches you, and you keep crying, and you try another. Why do you? No, see, because Mahamaya completely overpowers you. Then I said, you don't like God, you don't like religion, all right. Why don't you give it a fair try? This is a reasonable proposition. You have tried so many other things, you have failed. Why don't you give God a fair try and see if you fail or not? But take it from you will never fail. Unfailing devotion is avvibhicharini bhakti. So what happens to such a person? A person who is devoted to God, unswerving, unflinching, one-pointed devotion, bhakti. So gunan samati ityaitan. He goes beyond the three gunas. What a simple prescription. We should congratulate Sri Krishna for giving you such a simple, easy prescription for Brahmajnana. All that he says is, you want Brahmajnana? Come to me. What do you want? Brahmajnana? Hey, give him Brahmajnana. Finished. And the yogis go through yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana. By the time bhakta has finished Brahmajnana, gone to sleep. And he says, the yogi, where are you going? I am going to cook myself. I don't believe anybody else has food. I am trying to fetch firewood. What about you? I have eaten my fill. I am going to sleep. How did you get food? Ready-made food is available now. Just take it, put it in hot water, you got food. That is, I want to make myself. You go on, you take all the trouble. Avatars come and give you everything ready-made. Ready-made food is available. Ready-made moksha is available. Come on. All that you need is some devotion to God. If you have avvibhacharini bhakti, you'll get Brahmajnana, moksha. Even if you have some bhakti, your life will be pleasant and happy. I'm not emphasizing bhakti as against jnana. Yoga, jnana, these are all very difficult paths for us, at least for me. That's why in the Gospel of Ramakrishna, you will see again and again, bhakti, Naradiya bhakti Kali Yuger Jonno. In this age, where human beings largely depend on the body, annagata pran, so bhakti is the easy path. It's not so easy, but when the incarnations come, they make it easy. That's why the Rajavidya Rajagukshya Yoga, 9th chapter, I'll talk about it now. Sagunan samatityetan brahmabhuyaya kalpate. This is, what is the message? Through unswerving devotion and bhakti, you can attain Brahmajnana. Now come to the last chapter. 18th chapter. Shloka number 53 and 54. 18.5354. He says, what is the jnana path of attaining moksha? Ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodham parigraham vimuchya nirmama shanto brahmabhuyaya kalpate. Same brahmabhuyaya kalpate, both verses. The path of bhakti, avvibhacharini bhakti, quickly you get Brahmajnana. And here, you give up ahankara. Bala means strength based on your body and mind and intellect. Darpa, arrogance. Kama, lust. Krodha, anger. Parigraha, coveting somebody else's bed, greed. All that you give up, vimuchya, becoming free from that, nirmamaha, without mamakara. In the Gita, from the beginning to the end, they will talk about ahankara, mamakara, ahankara, mamakara. I can show you verses from the beginning to end. If you carefully read the original Gita, please, for heaven's sake, don't depend too much on the translations. Gita verses are so simple. Just school level Sanskrit is enough for this. Read the original, word for word, line for line, verse after verse, passage after passage, and try to chew them. Try to find out the inner meaning. This is the prescription of Swami Brahmananda. He said, don't go for commentaries immediately, go for the original verses. Brahma bhuyaya kalpate, nirmamaha shantaha. Shanta is constantly emphasized in our scriptures. Prashanta manasam henam yoginam sukhamuttamam upaiti shantarajasam brahmabhutam akalmasham. Prashanta. Always be calm, your mind should be tranquil. Shanta swabhava is the quality of sattvic people, Sri Ramakrishna said about jnanis. Brahma bhuyaya kalpade, he has attained Brahman. So what? It's finished. According to Krishna, it is not yet finished. A little more. Brahma bhuta prasannatma. This person has attained Brahma Jnana. Prasannatma. Prasanna chitta is so importantly emphasized here. Prasanna means he is full of joy, inner joy, and through his face, for his demeanor, through his smiles everywhere. Look at Sri Ramakrishna. Always smiling. In the Gospel of Ramakrishna, if you see harsha, shakalir harsha, laugh, oh laugh, every page you'll have half a dozen times, is always spreading joy everywhere. He asks M, what kind of person am I? How many annas of knowledge have attained? Then M says, I do not know about all this. Aapne to majar lok. In Bengali, majar lok means you're a person of great joy, always spreading joy everywhere. And a spiritual person, a spiritual sadhaka, should never be gloomy and always despondent. Some people are always, how are you? This is going on. So why don't you smile? The present day, the greatest problem, people have forgotten to smile and laugh. You know, laughing clubs in big cities, they are there. In Calcutta also, I don't know about Delhi. People pay subscriptions to go and laugh. I never knew you had to pay to laugh. If you want to laugh, come to Jaurangi, read the scriptures and laugh. It's a huge subscription. And slots are allotted from 10 to 11 this group, 11 to 12 another group. Exactly at 9:45 they arrive. They have some tea and gossip. 10 o'clock. Now, gentlemen, we begin. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Artificially stimulated laughter because there's no joy within. So Bhagavan says, be prasanna. Prasanna chetuso hyasho buddhi paryavatishthate. And there's another interesting shloka which Swami Vireshwarananda was repeatedly fond of mentioning. I'll come to that later. He says, so nischayena yoktavyo yogo nirvinna chetasa. This yoga should be practiced by a person without any depression or despondency of mind. Cheerfully. A yogi, a jnani, a bhakta should be cheerful. And yogis usually have long faces. I've seen yogis meditating. I meditate less and watch people meditating. So I thought he had constipation. Why don't you smile? You're thinking of God. But yogis don't think of God, that's the problem. They go through Yamena, Asama. They don't even mention God is only a Purusha, Vishesha Ishwar, some special kind of Purusha only. Then you cry what to do, like Arjuna did. Bhagavan says, you have come to me, you surrender to me, he gives you simple paths. So yoga is good in some way as the beginning, but you come to God so easy. I always think, why don't people practice this? Bhagavan says in the 9th chapter, it is so easy to practice and it is eternal. Then what happens? Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati. It doesn't sorrow at all and doesn't desire anything. It doesn't want anything. Why? He is so fulfilled. If God's powers and God's glory descends on you, what do you need anymore? You are the child of a Rajaji Raja. Suppose you are a child of a millionaire, billionaire. Go and tell your dad, I need about $1 million immediately. Oh, you need $1 million? He calls his accountant, write a check and give it to me. My dad is so great, so compassionate. And the dad is crying within, oh fool, all the billions and billions of dollars and the property I have, it's all yours. Like a beggar, you come to me for 1 million. That's what we are. We are the children of that great Lord. The entire universe is His. And you go and ask Him for a little thing. He gives you immediately. And so He is a Kalpataru. He is a great Parijata. He gives you whatever He wants. You fool, He is tricking you and is fooling you by giving what you need. I don't want anything, I want you. There are two ways of bhakti. One is wanting something from God. The other is wanting God. If you want something from God, you get it. Always. That's why Vivekananda says in the Inspired Talks, please don't desire anything, because whatever you desire, you shall get. That is the tragedy. If you get it, again you are caught. Now, if you don't want anything from God, what does God do? I'll give you an example. Suppose you go to a rich man, powerful man, and you have great liking for him, you love him for his qualities. Sir, can I come? Oh, please come. I've seen you for a long time. Sir, can I sit here by your side? Yes, please. After some time, you came for something? No, I came just to see you. I feel so happy in your presence, in your company. I have so much love for you. I'm just sitting quietly. Oh, Sakarika, can I sit here, please? 1 hour gone, 2 hours gone, the whole day gone. See, we need something from me? No, sir. What will he do? He will give himself. The two great characters in the Ramakrishna Parampara, I always remember them. One is Sri Sarada Devi, the Holy Mother. Other is Swami Ramakrishnananda, who just did not want anything from Sri Ramakrishna. Even Swami Vivekananda cried for Nirvikalpa Samadhi, which he got. Look at Sarada Devi's life. Apart from his Bhagavati or Durga and Kali, leave it. Just look at as a human being. Can any wife tolerate this? She can't even have darshan, see her husband, not even once in a month. She used to carry some food. That also was snatched away by somebody else. Sri Ramakrishna chided her, don't do it again. Promise me? I said, no, I can't promise you. Somebody calls me Ma, again I will give it. And she didn't want anything. And Ramakrishna was totally confused. I'll tell you a small bhakti trick. How to confuse God. Don't want anything from Him. Try it for 6 months and see. God will be totally confused. This fellow is coming and worshipping me, chanting my name, doesn't want anything. What do I do to him? Oh, you want anything? You have been so devoted to me. No, I don't want. I want you. I am very busy with so many others. You take your time, but I will be sitting here. If you constantly sit near God, don't want anything, he gets completely tired, confused, irritated. What is this fellow up to? That's what Sarada Devi did. Go on serving, go on serving, go on serving. This is the path of bhakti, is seva. Bhaja means seva. Go on serving God. How much Sri Sarada Devi served and served, didn't want anything. What does Ramakrishna do? One day he called her, he sit in the asana and worshipped her as Devi, Shodashi, and gave her everything that is accumulated in spiritual realm. His sadhana, his samadhi, even his japamala, he surrendered at her feet, made Ashtanga Namaskara and said, I have given you everything that I have. Why? Because she didn't want anything. And the beauty is, Sharada Devi could completely digest all that. Hridayaram Mukhopadhyaya, you know him, Hridayaram, his nephew. Once he wanted some samadhi, etc. And he said the easy way perhaps to go and sit in the Panchamundi asana, sitting on which he practiced tantra. The 5 skulls will be there. The moment he sat there, Mama, Mama, I'm burning, burning. Fire is being thrown on me. Then Swami said, you fool, why did you go and sit there? And he threw away all the skulls. Now my question is, Panchamundi asana, which is abandoned by Sri Ramakrishna after Tantra Sadhana, after several years this fellow is coming, sitting there, he can't bear the power. But here is a lady, uneducated, illiterate, village woman. Sri Ramakrishna pours all his samadhi and experiences and sadhana of all kinds. And what does mother do? Swaha, quietly she swallows everything. And some of you are Sahitics, any literary people here who can write poems and not ChatGPT poems. I want somebody to write on this. Shodashi Puja Parer Din. The next day to Shodashi Puja, what happened? Ramakrishna's samadhi never broke, obviously. Sun rose. Sharada Devi quietly gets up, starts sweeping the floor, dressing the vegetables for cooking. All the samadhi is fully digested. Look at the power of Sharada Devi. So we don't think about all this carefully. This is the statement of Swami Premanandaji. Baba Rama says, even Ramakrishna could not exercise restraint over his samadhi. And he got overwhelmed and he could not control. He went into samadhi, became unconscious for days on end. Here is Sharada Devi, who has absolute control even the samadhi. She was in samadhi all the time. So it says, Samasarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labhute param. Look at this, 53 and 54. After becoming Brahma Bhuta, Brahma Jnana, attaining it, he gets Parabhakti. So there we saw in the 14th chapter, through Bhakti you attain Jnana, Brahma Jnana. Here he says, through Brahma Jnana you attain Parabhakti. So what is the conclusion? This is the statement of Swami Smarananandaji, whom I often remember after he passed away. He said, this shows that Bhakti and Jnana are completely non-different. If through Bhakti you attain Jnana, and then through Jnana you attain Bhakti, what does it mean? Bhakti or knowledge, Jnana totally non-different. This idea should deeply get ingrained. Those who go too much into Bhakti, they will not make pranams to Thakur, they will not do Pushpanjali, I am a great jnani. Those who are too much into Bhakti, I've seen many of them, they will say, no, these scriptures, this and that is not for, I'll go for. Both of them are making a mistake. So both of them have missed the mark, because that what you call jnana is bhakti, bhakti is jnana, and that should be understood through the avatirana Bhagavan or the avatara. That is the burden of my song in this retreat. So we'll have tea and come back.